Welcome back to another week of fall watching. We're going to start with one right off the bat. I have a couple new faces to say hello to that were born over the weekend. But I typically get here at work right around 7 o'clock. And granted, I check on my mares right around 4 when I get here because I have my horses over there. And so I always check on them when I get in to do my horses, and then I check on them before I leave. And so when I left around like 6:30 to go back home and change, I looked at her, I was like, oh, we're definitely gonna have a baby tonight. And sure enough, it's 7. And she has definitely been kind of doing what she's doing. She's been uncomfortable, she's stretching, she's warm, dripping milk. Has not broke water yet. No, I know, you're getting there. I'll leave you alone. Just wanted to check on you really quick. So yeah, I'll introduce the 2 new kids that were born over the weekend after she's done. But I also I've kind of checked everyone else. Everyone else has been really quiet, but because she's doing whatever she's doing, I'm trying not to like open doors, check everybody. Just kind of, I'll just wait. Not really a big rush. Whenever she's ready, after she's done, I'll check the rest, unless someone gives me a reason to think I need to check them right away. Tuesday afternoon. I'm currently waiting for the vet, which is perfect timing because I gotta explain a little bit because I didn't finish filming Monday evening because things got a little chaotic. Everything happened all at once and it all happened toward the end of my shift, and so like filming didn't happen. Anyway, so we had the first baby like Monday evening. It was like, I don't know, 9 o'clock, and so I got some film from that and all that. And then I was like, oh, I'll just do the introduction video of like, oh, this is the new baby. And the 2 from the weekend around 5 o'clock when I go to feed everybody. Because I try not to, obviously, like they're inside at night. And even if they're not foaling, like it's their time to relax and rest. And so I don't want to be in and out of stalls and all that and annoying everybody. Like I let them. So I was just like, I'll do it when it's most convenient, which is around 5:30, because that's when I go turn on all the lights and I'm giving them food. So, everything was quiet the entire night. I even played Sims on my laptop for a while. I was just vibing. At 5 o'clock, I turn on all the lights in the barn, and then I go to start my truck because I have to go to 2 other barns to put feed down. And so, turned on my truck to make sure it got warmed up. And I was pacing the barn aisle, making sure everything was quiet and up to date. And I had actually either just freaking, because I also, have TikTok as well. And so I was doing just a little update on TikTok. Like, oh, this is just how the night went, blah, 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 blah. Everything was quiet when I left, okay? Went to the other 2 barns to feed those horses that are inside. And I came back. And when I came back, I was walking, and one of the mares, who I was not expecting to foal anytime soon, was laying down. And as soon as I saw that she was down, I was like, she's foaling, isn't she? Sure enough, she had broke water, and like I see the little feet, and I was like, ah, surprise baby! It's really not that big of a deal. Like, honestly, she did great. She didn't need any assistance. I just made sure that the sack was broken so that, baby, when it came out, it was all good, right? So anyway, freaking, I was just like, ah! The reason I was more like, is because this mare was NI positive. For those of you who do not know what NI positive is, there is basically a blood test we do prior to the mare foaling, about 1 to 2 weeks out, and we just take a sample of their blood and we run, there's a little test we do to see if a mare is NI positive. And what happens if a mare is NI positive, it just basically means that their colostrum is not compatible with baby, and it can kill baby if they nurse off of their colostrum. So what we do when we get the test and this is, hey, this horse is NI positive, we say, okay. And what we'll do is we actually will start the mare on domperidone, which is to encourage them to milk up more, and we'll drain the mare of all of her colostrum before she foals, and that hopefully by the time she foals, she has no more colostrum, right? And so I typically try, and as soon as I think this mare is about to foal, like before she breaks water or when she breaks water, I call the vet so that he can be here like just like that when like baby's already out and everything. Like I try to time it right so that he's here not too long after baby is out, so he can get a sample of mom's milk and some blood from baby, so he can go do a cross match to make sure that they are compatible to nurse. And then while I wait for the results, because the results take a little bit, I will bottle feed the baby colostrum that we have stored. Well, all this happened, right? And so all this happened like toward the end of my shift. And so people, like, you know, I'm cleaning the stall, making sure put a little muzzle on baby so that baby doesn't nurse, and we give him the colostrum, cleaning the stall, and then we're still waiting for the vet because obviously I was not able to time it properly. I was like, ah! So the vet came by and we did all the blood and everything. And then he left and he's like, we'll be back at 9 o'clock to do regular work, but let me go drop this off so they can go run it. And so it got a little chaotic kind of fast. And so I just didn't end up filming because obviously I got to take care of the horses before I worry about filming, right? To add to that, I tried to do this all in one go and, you know, make it nice and easy, but then people kept calling me when I was trying to film the second half of it. So anyway, it's nighttime now, they can't call me. So recap for my mental state. We had 2 babies last night. Everything was awesome, great. They've been phenomenal. And like part of the reason I had mentioned, I was like, I was just gonna film when it's breakfast time, right? Part of it was also because it was pouring down rain and you couldn't hear me. And I was like, I'll just do intros then. And then obviously the other kiddo was born and threw me for a loop. So their intros are coming right after this. But I'm short an intro because one of the babies, I mentioned it too many times. We had 2 babies born on the weekend. Well, one of those babies decided to take a little field trip because the vets obviously come in the morning after we have a baby that's born to do a new foal exam. And so they'll do an exam on both mama and baby just to make sure that everything is awesome and great and the way it's supposed to be. My dog's annoying me. I know. ADHD is like, my brain is just it's not there right now. Anyway, so when the vet was here, one of those boys said, hey, this baby that was born on the weekend, it's got a little bit of a diarrhea. Not a lot, just a little bit, like it just started. And so, you know, immediately started on some oral medication and the vet's here. So we go ahead and pull blood. And after they run the blood and test it, they said, hey, this blood's a little sketchy. Like, do you want to treat it? Do you want to treat it on the farm or do you want to go ahead and take it to the clinic? Well, this baby in particular, he was like 90 pounds soaking wet. And so the decision was, let's go ahead and just take him to the clinic so they can do all the magical stuff there and be like constantly on top of him. So if they need to change something, they automatically have the meds right away versus me having to wait for the vet to come bring it out to me at 2 a.m. So he's taking a little field trip just more as a precaution, because especially with those little babies, like if they get sick or anything, they crash hard. So, but we'll give him our delayed hello a little bit later. I have these very short delayed happy birthdays, I guess. I don't know. Everything's been so chaotic. My brain has not been able to function. Trying to stay on task today has not been it. Well, she's taking a good solid nap right now, so I'm not going to disturb her too much. What did you do to your foot? Oh, it's just stained. I thought she had a little nick or like a rubbed hair off of her foot. Just a stain. Anyway, this is little Instagram filly that was born last night. I know. You're such a good baby. She's a really decent sized baby, which was a little surprising. Instagram is not a big horse. He's actually really small. Part of the reason we like to breed to him is because he puts on
a lot of body, a lot of speed, and less height, you know. Mom herself, she's not that big. She's not a big mare. So we thought this was going to be kind of about just a strong bodied baby, a fast looking baby. And we were very pleasantly surprised. But she's got a lot of leg. Yeah, I know. She's like, I'm just taking a nap. It's so hard being born. I know. Alright, I'm gonna leave you be. Here's the baby. Ugh. I'm about to say, because I have another face to introduce you all to that I haven't done yet. Now, for this next kiddo, I'm gonna go ahead and apologize that there is a lack of light. You know. But Mama over here, my sneaky little girl, had a Street Sense colt, who he's also kind of just vibing. They look very much alike, however. So if you see Mama, you see baby. But obviously, like I had mentioned, Mama was anti-positive, which is something we already knew and we prepared for. So luckily, we did everything right, and Mama didn't have any colostrum. So we gave baby our bottle of extra colostrum, and he's been doing phenomenal. He's been up and nursing off of Mom, playing around, doing all the good things. He's a little bit smaller than the other filly. Actually, when the filly was born, we had thought she was going to be a colt, just because there was so much size and bone to her. And when he came out, I actually thought it was going to be a filly. Then it was a colt. So they said, stereotypes. Joke's on you. I know. He's so cute. He's like, he was just running around here playing earlier. You can actually, oh yeah, I guess you can't. There's not really a light, but you can kind of see where he's been running around playing in the stall. Yeah, it's so hard being a baby. So difficult. And then, for those of you who remember the mare that was like driving me up a wall because she was like, I know, big sigh. She was like grumpy and uncomfortable. And then she was quiet. And then she would walk again. And I was telling her, I was like, I think you need a little bit more boob before you have a baby, madame. She said, you forget. I don't get that big of a boob. And she doesn't. She always kind of vibes. She obviously produces enough milk, but she just kind of vibes with a little bit of a smaller titty committee. But we had, oh goodness, a little Munnings colt. Oh, you gonna get up? So yes. Oh, don't hit your head on the bucket. You gonna do a switch? He's like, no, I'm not. Because I don't appreciate that you disturb my sleep, disturb my slumber. Gonna touch? Gonna get a little, oh goodness, gonna kick? He's like, nope, I'm thinking about it. Anyway, she had a little Munnings colt. He's also been doing great. He's got a, ow, just like backed into the door. He's got a really cool personality. He plays a lot. Mom sleeps a lot when she's inside, and so he figured out pretty quickly how to nurse when she's laying down. So he's really smart. I don't think he's my favorite so far, but he definitely has a very interesting personality that makes it rather fun. So after the chaos of last night, it really wasn't even that chaotic. It was actually pretty boring. Most of the night we had the one baby, and it was just a long nothing. And then the second baby, I just wish Mama had given me a proper heads up. She said no. She said, joke's on you, I'm just gonna lay down and have it. I'll wait for you, but I'm just gonna lay down. Just anyway, freaking, I'm kind of glad we didn't have a baby tonight, because I think if it's not obvious enough, if you look at my daytime video and my nighttime video, my ADHD has just been that. Don't know at what point of the day that happened. Anyway, so it's Valentine's Day officially because it's past midnight. We almost always have a Valentine's Day baby. I think in all the years we've been foaling, there's only been 2 Valentine's Days that we've missed. So as of right now, I think our best chances of Valentine's baby is my personal mare carrying an Instagram and this Ghost Zapper over here. The Yupon is also kind of up for consideration, but last night they weren't necessarily like walking or uncomfortable. They were just kind of shifty and occasionally doing yoga. So like normally they have 1 or 2 spots where they prefer to stand in, and anytime I notice, hey, so-and-so's not necessarily hanging out in their 2 normal spots or whatever, goodness,
it's kind of like a little alert. And these two were definitely kind of like, just they'll go to one spot for about 5-10 minutes, and then they'll come to another spot, and then they go to another spot, and then they go to, so they weren't walking so much, they were uncomfortable. And they were doing a lot of yoga, so they were doing a lot of stretching and just like standing and like, oh, pregnant lady problems. I'm like, yep, I get it. So I think those two are our best chance for a Valentine's Day baby. I'm expecting a Valentine's Day baby. Is it gonna happen? I don't know. I've been wrong before. I've been wrong a lot already this week, and it's only day 2. Anyway, my brain, she doesn't need a nap. She doesn't need coffee. She needs to go for a run before I go to bed or something. She's just, I need to find her some dopamine. Anyway, I hope the rest of the week, I'm not gonna say it. If I say it out loud, I'm gonna jinx it. I will see you all tomorrow. It is still Wednesday night. It's still Valentine's Day, so we still have the chance for a Valentine's Day baby. I'm so glad because my brain, oh goodness, you bopped your head. I'm glad. My brain has reseated itself where it belongs. Anyway, we got a pretty solid chance for having a baby here soon-ish, I think. I'll be a little disappointed if they wait till after midnight, but really, if they will finally just foal, finally. Anyway, I'm going to show you these two. I know, because one of them we've been waiting on for a hot second. She's been annoying. It is what it is. First one's first. This is my personal mare, America. She's been rocking that little V bump for a while. She is ridiculously loose behind, and she had wax when I came to check on her at like 4 o'clock. She now no longer has wax, and she's kind of been very subtly dripping milk. But she typically doesn't walk or get too uncomfortable before she foals. She kind of just gets warm and then lays down. And then the ghost zapper, I mean, we've been watching her for a while. But she's got quite a bit of wax. And she has also now recently started occasionally doing a little drip of milk here, drip of milk there. Actually, both of these two were dripping milk pretty significantly a little bit earlier on when I came to check them at 4 o'clock. So they've kind of settled a little bit since then. So ideally, it'd be nice for them to, go in the next couple hours. But I'm not really holding my breath. Ideally, at least tonight. Tonight would be nice. But I guess we're going to have to buckle in and wait and see. Tell you, so we only ended up having the one so far. I freaking spoke too soon earlier this week, but as of right now, the other mare's still doing what she's doing. But I finally have my first personal baby of the year, and holy freaking Jesus, son of a gun is monster. He's huge. Like, I knew she was carrying a big baby. I did, by the way he was kind of sitting. And then I don't know if I had mentioned it before or not. I wasn't really thrilled with certain parts of her body condition at the moment. Mainly, I had noted she had lost a little bit of top line, but like her coat quality was good, her weight overall was still good, but I was just like, I don't really love this. And so I was kind of thinking, I was like, this baby, but judging by the way it's sitting, it's probably really big. And it's sucking a lot of her extra nutrients that are supposed to be going to her. Because we even increased her feed and everything. And I bet you now that she popped, in 2 weeks, she's going to bloom. Because that's always how it works. Anytime I look at one and I'm like, I don't really love your coat quality. I was like, you're smidge ribby. Give you the extra feed. And it's always once baby pops. And all of a sudden they bloom. And I'm like, thank God. But, freaking, I knew this thing was going to be big. And it was big. What didn't help is she tried to foal standing to begin with. So she got in part of the feet, the legs, and part of the head out. And then she suddenly decided, okay, I'm going to lay down now. But she didn't lay down in a good spot. She laid right up against the wall. And because of the size of the baby, we really needed to help her out because he was too big. And we obviously were at a bad angle because size of kiddo and where she laid down. And then finally get the shoulders out. That took forever. And then he was not helping at this point. He was like trying to talk to me. And I'm like, boy, you are still inside of her. Like, stop it. Then we finally get the hips out. And it's like, oh, thank God. He's huge. He is definitely the biggest baby we've had thus far this year. And then, to add to it, obviously, bless mom. Bless her freaking heart. She was tired. Don't blame her. And so she conked out, took a nap. We gave her some pain medication and everything to help her out. Well, I guess during the delivery and then afterwards where she slept, her hip felt a little numb, but fell asleep. And so she had a little issue getting up. And when she went to get up, she kind of half stood up and her hind end didn't go with her. And so she kind of awkwardly slid into the freaking corner of the stall and she got wedged up in there. And bless, it's a good thing she's such a sweet, easygoing mare. Because if it had been a mare that is not necessarily like an easy-tempered mare, oh, it would have been so much harder to help her out. But we had to basically grab her back legs and tie them up. And then we just had to bring in a little extra power to pull and like just kind of have her come this way off the wall. And then ironically, we were just trying to get her to turn this way so that she could get free and get her front end out of that wedge. And she ended up just doing a flip. And I was like, that works. I was like, that works so much better. And then we were able to help her up and get her standing. And now everything's been fine so far. Granted, baby is still not standing yet. There's technically something considered the 1, 2, 3 rule, where baby should be up in an hour, nursing in 2, and the placenta should be out of the mare by 3. We're a little bit past the hour mark for when he's supposed to be standing. However, I always say there is a little leeway with the standing and nursing depending on the situation. This is one of those situations it's going to get a little leeway. He's massive. He's massive. So he's going to take a little bit of extra time, which is not a surprise, to kind of just stand up and get things going. And obviously, because mom was kind of down for so long too, it took me a little extra time to clean the stall, because I always wait to clean the stall after mom gets up, and where she was down for so long, it kind of set us back a little bit. So he was trying to get up earlier, and then he was like, oh, the stall's too wet. I'm like, yeah, kind of sucks. So anyway, I will show you him when he gets up. He's freaking huge. I bred her to like the smallest horse I can think of, thinking I will get something a little short-legged, strong-bodied. I got strong-bodied. Holy Jesus, the leg though. My father was like, he's kind of short-legged though. Like, you'll be okay. He kind of popped up for a minute. He's like up to here on me. I'm 5 foot. I'm like, I can't wait for him to come back later. And I can't wait to show him, be like, look, is this short-legged to you, sir? It's not. Anyway. It's technically Friday morning, so Thursday night, Friday morning. It was pretty boring tonight, which is good. I think we all needed a little bit of a break, because looking back, we've kind of had like 2 babies here, 2 babies here, 2 babies here. So, not complaining about a night off. Well, not really a night off. I'm still here. Anyway, so before I had left on yesterday, obviously, my personal mare had her first kiddo, and everything was awesome. He kind of took a little while to stand up. He was huge, massive, ginormous, like, oh man. So he had a little bit of issues getting up. He needed some assistance, and he needed a little bit of assistance throughout the day to stand. Now he's nailed it. He's got it. He can do it all on his own. I have not had to help him whatsoever, and he's been doing great. So anyway, that was a little whole thing. So I didn't leave. Normally I leave here around 7. I didn't leave here yesterday until like 8:30, because I wanted to make sure that he was standing and nursing and all that jazz. And like people were here, so it's just anyway. Ironically, so she foaled in the morning. I left at 8:30, and then not too long after is when, you know, day shift is now doing stuff. So this is what I get told from day shift. Day shift was like, oh yeah, you left, and not long after you left, we had some reporters because they were coming to take pictures of this little baby over here. And so they came to take pictures of that baby, and right when they left, the vet came to do the new foal exam on my kiddo. And then when they were here, they said, hey, guess what? It's finally freaking happening. And that is that this freaking ghost zapper who's been dragging it out and making us look stupid like we don't know what we're talking about finally had her baby. She decided to have it in the daytime. In all honesty, daytime births are not necessarily rare. We typically have about 2 or 3 a year, more closer to like, you know, when the sun is out more often. But yeah, so it was always nice when day shift finally gets a baby. I know. It's always nice when day shift finally gets a baby because they don't really get to have like fresh out of uterus babies too often. So yeah, they said, I don't know. They were just like, yes, that was exciting. So finally, we have that freaking ghost zapper. He's eating, so I will show you him momentarily. But yeah, tonight itself was rather boring, and so we've kind of all caught up now that the freaking ghost zapper finally foaled. Lord Jesus. So we've kind of caught up. At this stage, I don't think we're gonna have a baby the rest of the week or over the weekend. If we do, I wouldn't be completely surprised. I do think our best bet is going to be between the 2 Yupons. So this Yupon and there's another Yupon over there. Then we do have a twirling candy and a country house that I still think they're going to be better next week, potentially even week after, because they're kind of just like coming along a little slowly, no rush, no big deal. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. So yeah, anyway, let's show you the new kiddo that we've been freaking waiting on forever. He's still nursing, so we'll just sit in this corner and let him be. But this is the ghost zapper. He's got a lot of leg. He's decent size for a first foal. Mama has been doing pretty dang good, all things considered, because you know sometimes when you're brought a new life, it's a little like, ugh, what is this? Did you have straw in there the entire time? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, you don't have teeth yet. Kind of can't really chew that very well. He's like, I've learned that lesson now. You also got a little poop on your butt. He's like, I do? Yes, you do. Look at the cute little face. I know, you took so long to be born. Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to fix the lighting on the camera, which it's still not doing. Oh, goodness. You got a little tail with your little poop that you sat in. He's like, anyway. But yeah, Mama's been doing great. Baby's been doing great. Ironically, so this is the mare that you would have occasionally seen in the background weaving at this window. And I had stated, someone had asked about it, and I had stated, I was like, well, we did just buy her out of the sale. So we didn't really have any history on her per se. And so weaving, which is, you'll see a horse, for those of you who don't know what's weaving is, it's kind of them kind of like dancing back and forth in like a really small spot. But I had said we bought her out of the sale, so we didn't really have her history. And weaving can be a sign of a horse that's uncomfortable, bored, stressed, things of that nature. And so I really wasn't sure for her if it was a common thing or not. And I had a feeling that once she had the baby, she would stop weaving. And sure enough, since she had the baby, she has not done it once. So I'm gonna go with she was weaving because she was uncomfortable. So, but yeah, it's kind of nice to finally. Let me tell you, I've been waiting for her to foal for so long. She was just dragging it out. She was just like, yep, just for you. I didn't know what I was doing. Why are you gonna blame me? I'm not blaming you. I was just ready for you to pop, man. And you had a cute little baby. Oh, I don't want to show you peeing on
the internet. Hi. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Friday night, Saturday morning, technically it's Saturday morning, so tonight was my last night of Foal watching. I had a feeling we weren't going to have anything tonight. Now that we had our little baby boom, I think things going to mellow out for here for a little bit. We might get a wave 2 next week. But as of right now, nobody really has any wax. No one has like a really full boob. Some of them are kind of relaxed behind, but you know, that's kind of just how it is right now. I think we're going to get a little bit of a break, which is kind of nice for us, but you know, it's going to get boring after a couple days. In the meantime, if we remember earlier in the week when it was a little chaotic and I was running around with a chicken without a head, I had mentioned that one of the kiddos I was supposed to introduce you to that was born from last weekend took a little adventure to the clinic because he had a little bit of an upset tummy, and where he was kind of smaller and weaker, we didn't want to risk it, and so we went ahead and took him to the clinic so they could go ahead, because you can typically treat stuff like that on farm, but he was definitely on the smaller end, and those babies are more likely to like crash hard, so we sent him to the clinic. Anyway, he has returned, so we can finally say our hello. And are you ready to see the tiniest baby we've had so far this year? I hope he's the tiniest baby we have for the rest of the year. He is a peanut. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me show you this little peanut. This is the Uncle Mo colt. As you can see, he is itty bitty. Oh, you can fit under mama so well. The dog is almost the same size as you. Yes. This was a first time mama. Am I allowed to sneak past you really quick? Or are you eating? I will leave you be. I don't know. Anyway, but she was a first time mama, so he's a little bit on the smaller side. Like I said, he went to the hospital for a little bit. They said he did great. Kind of just had the runs for about 2 days. And then he's been doing great. You're just gonna pee under mom. It's so rude. Anyway, but yeah, he is the tiniest little cute thing. He's probably like 90 pounds soaking wet. But obviously he's kind of a little wonky looking legged right now. I do promise, give him a couple weeks and he will straighten out himself. He's just mama was not late or anything, or she wasn't early. He's just small baby. It is what it is. But he should mature and catch up with the rest of the group just fine, especially now that he's back home safe and sound, which is always a good thing. But overall, we had a pretty busy week. I'm glad we had a little bit of baby boom, and I'm glad that they were kind enough to kind of scatter it throughout the week and not have it all in like one day. Before we leave, a little bit of minor housekeeping. Obviously I film all these every single night and just put it all together at the end of the week so that it's just one big easy thing to look at. I do nightly updates on TikTok. They're typically run. I try to do things differently on each platform. Some things are obviously going to be the same just because it's life, but mostly I try to keep it different. TikTok has nightly updates. Anytime we do have a baby, I do try and post either an Instagram reel or YouTube short as just like a little update. All that stuff is in my link tree in case you want to just get more quicker updates rather than a weekly update. What else? Oh, I've had a couple complaints about my lighting situation. Please understand, it is nighttime. And like, granted, there's lights in the stall, and like, technicality, I can turn on these middle lights. But the thing is obviously it's nighttime. This is their time to rest. I do my best actually not to film unless like something is like when I first get here, when I'm going through to check everybody, because I do need to check everybody. And then obviously when it's time for me to leave, because that's when I feed everybody. So that's typically when I try to do most of my random talking, just so I don't interrupt their schedule. They're here to rest, they're here to relax. I'm not gonna be going throughout the night flipping on lights and things of that nature. I'm not gonna buy special lighting equipment, and like, we're not doing that. Like, obviously their care and their welfare comes first. I'm not gonna piss them off with extra lights and things of that nature. I know for some people, like, it's a horse. Does it really care about the little light like that? It's just, what was that? Anyway, it's just, you know, kind of just a little bit of a respect thing for them. So yeah, I'm sorry about the lighting situation. It won't get any better. It will get better in the spring because it gets brighter earlier on. There was another thing. Oh, I'm making a full, I have already talked about how I'm not going to be doing a video of a live foaling because of several reasons. I do plan on doing a separate video talking about the foaling process in detail, and then I'm also going to be walking through my foaling box and explaining what I use for each step and things of that nature. So that will be kind of a more bit of an educational, oh my lord, educational video. I need to take a nap. Just regarding my box and the foaling process and what I'm looking for and all that jazz. But yeah, I was gonna do it this week and I started filming it, but then I was like, well, Peach, I didn't want to post too many videos up at one point, so it pushed back to next week. But I think that's about it, housekeeping wise. So if you have any more questions or whatever you're looking for, like if you have more like, oh, I'd like to see this, I will do my best. But obviously I'm working night shift. It is a bit harder to cover some things that do happen in the day. I can cover some things that happen in the day, but unfortunately it will just have to wait until it's a little bit more into spring and less winter, because light, the sun, all that jazz. Anyway, until next time.